asshole for baking my own birthday cake after my wife bought one? Disclaimer, this is not my story. For my 32 male birthday, I always like one specific kind of cake, a chocolate-covered cherry cake. My mom or dad always made it for me since it wasn't one of those available flavors at any bakeries or stores near where I grew up. When I moved away, I started to make it myself. I've been married to my wife just under a year, but we've been together for 6 years, so she knows all about this cake. During that time, we've either baked it together, my parents made it, or I've made it on my own. I've never asked or expected her to do it. Before my birthday this year, my wife asked me what kind of cake I wanted. I said the same kind as always, but she told me she didn't feel like baking it. I told her she didn't need to worry about baking it because I could just do it myself. She asked me a second time about the flavor of the cake and I gave her the same answer. The day before my birthday, I got home from work and had all the ingredients to make my cake. I went to get something out of the fridge and there was a pair of cheesecakes in there. Am I the asshole for baking my own birthday cake after my wife bought one? Disclaimer, this is not my story. I went to go get something out of the fridge and there was a pair of cheesecakes in there with happy birthday written between them both. I asked my wife about it and she said those were the cakes for my party the next day and she thought of switching things up this year since everyone loves cheesecake. I don't hate cheesecake, but she gets it at least once a month. I only ever have the cherry cake on my birthday. I told her I appreciate it and they look good, but I really want the cake I like, so I was going to make mine and would just let everyone have the choice of what cake they want. She got pissed off and yelled that I ruined her attempt to make things easier on us by not having to bake a cake and bringing the cake that everyone loves. It's been 2 days since the party and she was cold at the party and is still acting cold. Usually I move mountains in heaven to give her the things she wants on her birthday and celebrate how she wants. I just wanted one specific cake for mine. So am I the asshole?
My dead girlfriend keeps messaging me on Facebook. I've got the screenshots. I don't know what to do. My girlfriend died on the 7th of August, 2012. She was involved in a 3-car collision driving home from work when someone ran a red light. She passed away within minutes on the scene. We had been dating for 5 years at that point. She wasn't big on the idea of marriage. It felt archaic, she said. Gave her a weird vibe. But if she had been, I would have married her within 3 months of our relationship. M had been dead for approaching 13 months when she first messaged me. September 4th, 2013. This is when it began. I'd left Emily's Facebook account activated so I could send her the occasional message. I share access with her mother. After a little confusion, I assumed it was her. I had received confirmation from Susan that she hadn't logged on to Emily's Facebook since the week of her death. Em knew a lot of people, so I instantly assumed it was one of her more tech-savvy friends fucking with me in the worst way possible. I noticed pretty much immediately whoever was chatting with me was recycling old messages from Emily and my shared chat history. On March 15th, I sent what I assumed was Em's hacker a message. Why are you doing this? Why do you keep tagging her? On March 25th, an answer. Hello, 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 Nathan, which is him. This is actually devastating. I don't know why you enjoy doing this. Oh my God, cinnamon scented candles.
Oh my God.
Nathan, go to hell. Emily, why are you doing this? It wasn't until I was going over these logs a few months later that I noticed she was recycling my own words as well. Before anyone asked, yes, I changed the password and all security info countless times.
Oh my gosh.
16th of April, I received this. We should make our own jam. Jesus fucking Christ, Samantha. Nah, different. No chance of passing. No chance of passing. How many ? Garage side door? No chance of passing. I hadn't discovered any leads. Facebook had told me the locations her page had been accessed from since her death. They're all places I can account for.
Ugh.
My home, my work, her mom's house, etc. 8th of May. I don't really have words for this. -12, -15. My jumper's in the dryer and it's really cold out. Really cold out. Cold, cold. Please stop. Freezing. I don't know what's happening.
I don't like this. It's getting so much weirder.
Freezing is the first original word she's made.
As in it's not from previous conversations?
Yeah, it seems that way. Going back in time, 7th of August, 2012. These are logs from the day she died. This, alongside a couple of voice messages, is the last time I talked to her under the assumption that she was still alive. Mm-hmm. You'll see why I'm showing you these soon. She was usually home from work by 4:30. Hey, you on your way home? When you see this message, please ring me. Straight away. I rang blank and they said you left at 4. I'm starting to panic. I feel sick in my stomach. Please, please ring me. Emily, answer your phone. Yesterday, 1st of July, 2014. Until today, she'd been quiet. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what's happening. I just heard a Facebook alert. I'm too afraid to swap windows and check it.
Oh.
Hey, you on your way home? When you see this message, please ring me. I rang blank and they said you left at 5. I'm starting to panic. Please stop. Emily, I don't know what's happening. Freezing.
Oh God, that's Emily. All
Emily.
Am I the asshole for helping my brother run away from his wedding? I have 2 older brothers. This is about the middle one. Our parents divorced when I was very young due to our mother's insane jealousy. She quickly rebounded with a guy with 2 kids and had shared custody for a while. But when my dad got remarried, she went crazy, calling his new wife every horrible name and claiming he was cheating on her while they were married. I was always closer to my brothers and my dad rather than my mom because she was always very mean to me. Long story short, my stepmom died in a bad car accident and my dad called her in the middle of the night letting her know that he would pick us up earlier so we could attend the funeral, and she decided to take us on a fun trip to celebrate something. It was the happiest we've ever seen her, and when we realized what happened and started crying, she told us only worthless people cry for whores. Needless to say, things went nuclear and my dad asked for full custody with visitation for her. He always left the line of communication open and paid for us to visit her when she moved away, but it was still very bad, and as soon as we turned 18, we started to lower contact with her. The last time we saw her was on my high school graduation, where she made a point of letting everyone who would hear that we were ungrateful kids, and her husband at the time would call us bad names too. We've been no contact since then. My brother Sam started dating his ex 3 years ago. She had heard all of the stories and the reasons we are no contact, but she believes we are just dramatic. Oh, I see where this is going. They had many issues due to her opinions, but she eventually seemed to drop the "you need to reconcile with your mother" crusade. During the wedding planning, there was no indication of things going wrong or fishy. Then we got to the church, and lo and behold, mom, husband, and 2 kids were sitting up front. I immediately panicked and called my brothers. Sam thought maybe somehow she found out and wanted to crash, so he called his ex to let her know of the potential drama, but she told him it was fine since she invited them. Sam hung up and asked me to go get him while oldest brother dealt with things at the church. We went home and barricaded ourselves there, even with his ex, her family, friends, etc. came to try and make sense with him. My mom's husband even called and said he always knew we were worthless. Now that the dust has settled, most of Sam's friends are on his side and so is most of our dad's family. His ex's parents already threatened to sue for the money they paid if he doesn't marry her, but Sam says he'd rather pay them back for the contribution than marry someone that betrayed him. My nuclear family 100% supports Sam, but the backlash has been huge. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, so they go into detail about the aftermath at the church. I asked my brother Joe about the church aftermath, and it was just as I expected it. He says he stood up in front of everybody and told them Sam was not coming back and please go home, and all of the gifts delivered to our side of the family will be given back ASAP. The ex was still outside the church when someone in her family informed her, and she started screaming and crying and calling Sam nonstop.
Story time about how I saw my boyfriend propose to another girl in front of me. So a little background information. At the time, my boyfriend and I had been together for around 4 years. We had 2 kids together, and our relationship was pretty rocky. Within the first year of us dating, he would cheat on me all the time, and both times that I was pregnant, he would cheat on me also. Now, after I popped out the second kid, our relationship was going pretty well. And if you're wondering why I didn't leave him when he was cheating on me all the time, well, it was mainly because I grew up in a broken home. And remembering how hard it was on me whenever my parents broke up, I didn't want that for them. Well, over the past few months, my boyfriend had been traveling all over the country with his dad, going to meetings and stuff because he was getting ready to take over half the company. Well, fast forward, it's a Thursday, and my boyfriend has a meeting with some associates who flew in from out of state, and later that night we were supposed to get on a flight with our friends to go to the Bahamas. Like for part 2. Part 2 about how my boyfriend literally proposed to another girl right in front of me. So like I said, my boyfriend had a meeting with some associates who flew in from out of town, and that night we were supposed to be on a plane to the Bahamas with our friends. So while he was getting ready for this meeting, I went and I dropped the kids off early, and he went to this meeting, and I drove our luggage over to our friend's house because they were just going to drive us to the airport. So my girlfriend and I are super pumped to go on this trip, so we decided to start drinking early, and we went somewhere to get drinks. She suggests this high-end place because the guy at the bar has a crush on her and always gives her free drinks. So we're sitting there having a really good time drinking at the bar. So while we're sitting there, we hear a bunch of clapping and cheering coming from outside. So us being drunk and nosy, we go out there to see what's going on. And what are the chances I walk out there and my boyfriend is down on one knee in front of another girl? And I'm not very confrontational whenever I drink, so I told my best friend to just take me back to her house. When we got back, it was around 6 p.m. And my boyfriend tells me that he's just going to meet us at the airport like for part 3. Part 3 about how my boyfriend proposed to another girl right in front of me. I know this is late, but better late than never. So like I said, we left, I went back to her house, and my boyfriend has the audacity to text me, I'll just meet you guys at the airport. So my best friend's like, what do you want to do? Do you want to go beat him up? Of course I said no, so I told her and her boyfriend to just go to the airport while I figured out what I was going to do, and to not say a word. Which was hard for my best friend because she was confrontational as fuck. So I texted my boyfriend saying that I was sick and I just wasn't going to go to the Bahamas with them, when in reality I was packing up our whole house, leaving him with only his clothes and his shoes. So I put all the stuff in storage and I just decided to move back to my mom's house. And yes, this was in a span of a few days. So the whole time that he was gone, I was acting like everything was okay. On the last day of the trip, I sent him a text saying that I knew about everything. And I said I never wanted to hear from him again and I never wanted him to see the kids again. And he took that quite literally. I never got a text back. Well, 4 months after all this happened, I soon find out that he got a new house in North Carolina with his new wife and they have a daughter on the way.